This is Jasper.
This is Randy.
This is Melanie.
Hi, Melanie.
Hi.
In case people listen to only GCU and never listen to that other podcast that shares a title with us.
Yes.
Who are you? Where are you from?
I'm Melanie. I'm from here. And I'm the one that everybody listens to the show for because I'm the fun one.
Yeah, you're from Grawlix Podcast.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, and this is the first time you've been on GCU.
It is.
So which one do we want to do first? From Dusk Till Dawn?
Yeah.
Do it.
The first movie is from Dusk Till Dawn, a 1996 movie directed by Robert Rodriguez. Two criminals and their hostages unknowingly seek temporary refuge in a truck stop populated by vampires with chaotic results is the synopsis.
It's a fair synopsis. It's vague. It's not too specific. It's accurate.
It stars George Clooney, Quentin Tarantino, Harvey Keitel, Juliette Lewis. That's who that was. I forgot. Selma Hayek, Cheech Marin, Danny Trejo.
Cheech Marin.
As I said, Cheech Marin.
You can say him 3 times because he plays 3 different
I
characters.
Fred Williamson. Yeah, Fred Williamson.
That's it.
As I said, it was directed by Robert Rodriguez, written by Robert Kurtzman and Quentin Tarantino.
From Dusk Till Dawn.
Ah.
Had any of us not seen this before?
This is like a GCU first.
This is actually a movie you've seen before.
Yeah.
We've all seen this movie. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen this movie several times, but it'd been in quite a long time since I watched it last.
I've seen it many a time.
What do you guys think? You like this movie? Is this a good movie? Is it a bad movie?
It's a good movie, despite some horrible crap in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun, though, and it's still fun, even though they try to play a freaking guitar made out of a torso and like an arm or something. It's so stupid.
That is the dumbest thing in the movie.
I like how that just pops up out of nowhere.
It's just there, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. There's no like transition. It's just as soon as things go bad, like it cuts to the band, and I don't like the torso guitar either because it's a torso with like a leg stuck in the middle.
Yeah,
and it's dumb.
And it like shakes all weird. You can't play a guitar like that.
No, it's ridiculous.
And then later, when they've got most of the vampires taken care of, the band like does a magic trick and like poof, and then they all disappear.
Yeah, they like explode.
I guess I don't know.
It's an interesting movie because it's half like a good movie, and then half like a very B grade movie.
Right.
And it flips.
Oh yeah, definitely 2 different feels.
Yeah. And I enjoy both halves. I kind of actually like the first half a little bit more, even though the second half's more fun. It's got fun stuff. The first half does not, it's not necessarily fun.
No.
But it's interesting. I can hear Tarantino's writing the dialogue for sure. And you had made a point. You said something about like the characters will say like something cool, but then they always just push it a little too far.
Yeah.
Trying too hard. That's kind of my beef with Tarantino's writing is anytime I say he gets a little too cutesy, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, it's cool, but then he'll just keeps pushing it to where it's like, stop it. Stop trying so hard.
Yeah.
Bad motor scooter and stuff like that. Like, come on.
Right.
But I like the writing for the most part in this.
I think that Tarantino was the perfect choice for the disgusting, pervy psycho brother.
I agree.
I think that's Tarantino's best performance ever. Generally, he's not very good, but I actually think he's really good in From Dusk Till Dawn, which is...
You want to come sit on the bed with me and watch TV? Oh my God! Run, woman, run!
Yeah.
My answer to that would be, no.
I'm okay over here. Yeah. I can hear it. Where's your brother?
When's he coming back? Is he bringing fruit snacks?
No, yeah, because we'll talk about it more in 4 Rooms, but 4 Rooms he gets a lot of screen time and a lot of dialogue in the part that he's in, and he's not good. He's not good in 4 Rooms. He's not good in his cameo in Pulp Fiction. It seems very unnatural, and maybe it's because he's not directing From Dusk Till Dawn, so he doesn't have to worry about that, and he's got I'm assuming his friend because they've worked together a lot, but Robert Rodriguez directing him, so he's got a dedicated director to actually kind of work with him or something. Or maybe it's just works with his personality, the character.
Yeah.
But I think he's actually pretty good and super creepy in this movie.
I've noticed in several other ones, and you pointed out about Four Rooms, but I think he has a hard time knowing where he's supposed to be looking a lot of times.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, that should be like the first thing you learn, you'd think.
That's, the amateur actor.
Yeah.
Like, in Four Rooms, it's real noticeable because he's supposed to... At one point, the camera shifts over, like right at the beginning of his segment. We should probably hold this for Four Rooms talk. But it's supposed to go, I think, from... The camera is supposed to shift into first-person view from the bellhop's point of view. And Tarantino sometimes is looking down the lens and sometimes is looking just off the side. Mm-hmm. And then he segues from looking down the lens to just off the side like too early before the camera actually... it just doesn't work. And I don't find that issue with this. There's a couple times when it's like... He's got his like cool Tarantino face on where I'm like, I'll just stop it.
He's got a cool Tarantino face?
He's got a trying to be cool Tarantino face.
Oh, okay.
And I don't dig it. George Clooney. What about George Clooney in this? Because I honestly knew he was in it, but I kind of forgot. It's been so long I didn't even think about him.
I think George Clooney is pretty much... George Clooney decided he was the shit like 20 years ago, and that's just how he acts always.
He is just George Clooney.
Yeah.
I think he's good in this. I think he's George Clooney.
Yeah.
You know what's weird is I've watched this like again 2 or 3 times now, and I forgot he was in there. And he's like the main character.
Well, I think it's kind of because it could just be anybody. I mean, It's George Clooney and it works, but it's not his character's not memorable. He's just like the kind of cool guy.
Yeah.
Of the 2 criminals,
Yeah.
And yeah, he is one of the main characters, but whatever. It's just George Clooney is this guy. It could be anybody else who's a good-looking Hollywood guy at the time.
Yeah. Pretty much all of them, you could switch them out with somebody else who's their equal, and you wouldn't even notice. Like Juliette Lewis, any other Arquette would be fine, and you wouldn't even notice.
I like she's not an Arquette though,
but she should be.
She come up and Melanie's like, she should be an Arquette. Why isn't she an Arquette? I'm like, I don't know, but you're kind of right. She should be an Arquette. She's got that vibe to her.
True.
It's such a weird cast though. Like when they're all together, you got a very different kind of Harvey Keitel compared to what we'd seen in the last few movies we watched because he pops up a lot in these stuff.
Really?
Oh yeah, he was in Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction. And I thought I guess that was it. But in Tarantino stuff, he pops up a lot.
It's like they're best friends. Yeah, he's in like most of Tarantino stuff.
A lot of, and I think it's partially, working with the same directors or writers in this case, I guess, or whatever. But also, they're all Miramax movies, so I'm sure Miramax have. I think a lot of studios have certain like their big A-listers that they kind of have on contract or whatever it is that they keep reusing. I think that's a little bit of the deal.
It's like Mickey Mouse is owned by Disney. Well, Harvey Keitel is owned by Miramax, so
Yeah.
If he wants to change his name, then he can go somewhere else.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. I really like the opening scene, even though it's ridiculous. But I don't know. I like the opening scene. Mm-hmm. But again, the opening scene, you kind of get a sense of it, and I think a little bit more so with some of the George Clooney dialogue. You can't get away from the racism in these movies. Mm. The closest, again, not to bleed reviews, but Four Rooms is the closest we've gotten to something that isn't just full of like nonstop racism.
It's
true,
kind of racist, but yeah,
a little bit. There's one, I guess a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I guess let's just continue jumping all over the place with this.
Yeah.
Danny Trejo
ages.
He ages because he actually looks noticeably younger in this movie. He still looks old, but noticeably younger.
Yeah, and that's good because I saw him on not a commercial, but it was like a poster or something recently. I'm like, dude, the guy, he's like old. He's like old, but he's like an old man for 50 years. I don't understand it.
Well, he used to be a young old man.
Yeah.
He did still look pretty old though.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
he rugged.
Right.
He's got
Well, we figured
a lot of details.
he's
to
got to
his
be at
face.
least 50 when that was made because he's like 80 now, right?
Yeah, if he's like 80 something now, which I think he is. He's probably like 50 something in this movie. So he
And
was legitimately
He's still
old
just
guy.
as ripped. It's just that now his head and his neck run right. Like he looks like he looked like when he was a vampire in that.
A
That's how
little
he
bit,
looks
yeah,
now.
Yeah.
So when that movie came out, he was 51
He was 50. Wow, we're about dead on.
because he's 74 right now.
So yeah, right about where was that? He was 51.
Oh, so he's not as old now as we expected, though.
Okay.
That's good.
Well, it's because less time has passed than we thought.
Whew. So that's also good. I'm all for that.
Yeah. But still, if my grandpa looked like that when he was freaking 74.
I do like that we've seen him, Danny Trejo, when he was 51, and we're like, wow, he wasn't always old. He was 51. Not, listen, 50-year-olds and 40-year-olds listening. Not that that's old. 50's the new, well, it's
22.
probably the new 60 because our our average lifespan is dropping, but that's okay.
Yeah.
50's the new 60.
Unless, 50's the new, no, 60's the new 50 until we switch over to the next generation. And then 60 is like the new 80. So,
Oh, that's right. If you're that old now, you're probably fine. You will outlive us.
Yep.
I was saying the cast it's really weird cast though. Like if you line them all up, and there's lots of shots where everybody's there. You got Quentin Tarantino and George Clooney, and we don't have to get into specifics of what we were saying, but I think they kind of work as a brother couple because a brother couple sounds weird, but brothers, because sometimes you get the good looking child, and then you get the child who's like, oh, something was a little wrong with those genes, like the sperm. You got the weird sperm. It kind of looks like the case with those two.
Yeah. Yeah. I do.
Clooney came out good, and then Tarantino come along, and they're like, oh, what happened with this one?
Yep. And her parents were probably like, well, you can see he got the short end of the stick, so you got to take care of him now. Puts a lot of pressure on him.
I actually really like that scene. They make his character, they make Tarantino's character a super creep.
Oh, yeah,
and I like that scene. I think it actually plays pretty well when Clooney comes back. I would say, he's still just Clooney, but he does a good job in that scene in reacting.
Yeah,
just his reaction to
yeah.
it. And how they, I like the little quick flashes of bloody whatever happened. And, what is wrong with you? And he's like, is this my fault? Did I do this? Blah, blah. Do you think that's what this is? And just like their whole scene, I actually think that's played pretty well.
Me too.
But you throw them all together, and Juliette Lewis is strange.
Yes.
I think she's very strange.
Yes, she is.
And
it's because she was born in the wrong family. She's supposed to be an arcade. Go on.
and Harvey Keitel in his like reverend on a vacation outfit, and like it's just weird. The cast is very strange. They don't look like they are it doesn't look copacetic, but
yeah, the only one who's really supposed to be in that movie and is not interchangeable is maybe Danny Trejo and Selma Hayek. They belong there. Everybody else, you could switch them out and it wouldn't matter.
Selma Hayek's she was a big name at that point too.
Yeah.
And I think they kind of billed fairly high when they were promoting this movie. She's barely in it.
Oh,
she's
yeah.
in it for like one scene.
But she's half naked in it.
That's true. It is like Selma Hayek, the way you want to see her. It's one of those.
With her breastfeeding boobs.
And you were saying, you're like, that's not a stripper dance because it's sensual, but it's not like, it's not very strippery. But I'm like, but she's not a stripper. She doesn't take anything off. She's just there to dance and fulfill Tarantino's foot fetish, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely feels like there's a through line of kind of feet so far, and we've only watched a few of his movies, but yeah. He's
got a few things. That's okay. A lot of people do.
I'm not shaming him.
Yeah.
But, not everybody makes movies about it.
Yeah. Overall.
Yeah, we're going to blaze through this.
Is it awesome?
Yeah, I like it. It's not amazing. I feel like there's some entertaining stuff when it flips over to the B horror movie thing. It's fun, but I don't think it's perfect. I think it still feel like, I don't know. I like Sex Machine. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And some of the violent monster action is fun and stuff, but like
it turns into Gremlins.
There's no consistency between the vampires at all.
No.
Some of my Hayek looks like a snake, and some of them are like rat creatures, and some of there's no consistency, which is fine. They just kind of went crazy. But
and you keep hearing
weird.
dog howls outside.
There's dog howls outside and pig squeals inside, and it's just all over the place. There's no like rules to it.
Right.
And George Clooney's weapon that he comes up with at the end is stupid.
It is. I agree.
The
I feel
jackhammer.
like that would not be.
I don't think it'd be
useful at all.
It'd be super heavy to wield for one, and he'd just like stick it in and it'd vibrate about. Like it wouldn't be that useful if it could like shoot a stake out and then retract it or something, or like if you hit them and then it would launch them, so you could just quick and hit launch. But
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't seem practical to me.
Nope, not at all.
the effects are weird. It's a weird combination. Like I like the makeup effects overall, even though, like I said, it's all over the place. But the effects, it's a weird. For the most part, there's a lot of practical stuff, but it's also mixed with that '90s morph CG, which they figured out they could do at some point in the '90s, and then it was everywhere. So I like that they at least mixed it, and it doesn't look great. They don't focus on it too much. They're pretty quick little morphs, but it's still kind of cheesy. But I do like that it's morphs from like an actor or an actor in makeup to still a practical physical mess of goo and stuff. It's not all just like CG.
Yeah.
But the effects are okay. The makeup effects are fun.
The only thing I got that weirded me out was when Tarantino's character gets changed. He changes like to his normal self with fangs, and then goes back and he's the big head thing again.
Yeah,
Frankenstein. Sorry.
Melanie commented on that, and I don't know. It kind of felt like maybe it was supposed to be that's how Clooney's character was seeing him for a moment, but I don't know. There's no consistency with that stuff at all.
Yeah. And they had these weird, like, almost like underwear, but it was all supposed to look like crotch hair or something. I don't know. It weirded me out.
The full body monster, full body makeup, like rubber suit guys towards the end.
Yeah. So I guess when you become a vampire, you don't have to wear underwear because your pubes just grow out of control and cover everything.
It streamlines the process.
Yep.
My favorite scene is the bathroom in the RV. He's like, "You called me a nut." He's like, wham, hits him with the gun.
Julia Lewis is like, "Thank you." I do like, because I like that Clooney's character knows his brother's
Nuts.
A little deranged.
something wrong with him, and that he's as big, if not bigger, threat to the situation than the hostages are.
Yeah. And I think it points out a little bit. I mean, we already know he's nuts, but it points out even more so because it's not just that he's nuts and doesn't know right from wrong. It's that he's nuts and doesn't even have the self-preservation skills.
The instinct to be like, I need to keep it in check right at this moment. Mm-hmm. He'll, ruin the whole situation just because he gets caught up on something.
Right.
And I actually really think, like, there's kind of some interesting psychology behind the character, because the beginning scene where he keeps insisting, like, he said, he mouthed, "Help me," like, I don't know. That kind of works because not in that situation, but I've known people like that, to where it's not like that, but it's like, you don't know if they necessarily believe it or not, but they'll just insist on it, stubbornly insist on a thing where you're like, it's not the case. And I don't know. It just really fills in almost everything you need to know about that character in the first opening scene.
Yeah.
I just like that. I didn't say that.
Yep. Do you want to go with star rating first, Jasper, or should I?
No, I'll go. So this is like one of my childhood, movies, which.
But this is rated R.
I know, which is weird. There's select movies I didn't get to see as a kid. Now there's this one. But I gave it a 4.5 out of 5.
4.5 out of 5.
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Nice. Okay, so I hadn't really even thought about it that much. I feel like the first half is like a really good movie. The second half is a fun but bad movie. It's almost like if it was more thoroughly bad B-grade movie, I could give it a higher rating, because there's not that good movie that disappears,
I think that's where kind of my rating came from. Was it's like it's so bad it's good, kind of thing.
So I think I'm going to go with 3.5 stars on this.
Oh, that's what I picked for you.
Really? 3.5 stars, which seems a little low. I think if it were like all the first half of the movie, it maybe would have been a 4 stars. And I think if it were all the second half of the movie, maybe a 3.5 still, maybe 3, because it's fun, it's entertaining, but it's still real bad. There's still bad parts. It's not supposed to be anything but. So I accept that. But I feel like there's better movies that are still in that area of bad, intentionally bad movies. So I'm going to go 3.5. How about you?
I am also going to go 3.5.
Whoa.
Yeah. And same thing, basically. Even the bad parts are still funny and good, even though they're bad. But the first part was a totally solid movie, so. And if a movie can be good when it has forgettable, changeable or like interchangeable characters, that's a solid movie too. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Harvey Keitel is a Reverend character, and like it doesn't seem necessary. The Gecko brothers are interesting, but that kind of feels like the first half of the movie was based on a script that was supposed to be the Gecko brothers that Tarantino didn't know where to go with, and was like, well, here, Robert Rodriguez, do something with this.
Yeah.
They're going to Mexico and vampires, you know.